Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I am going to be jumping 3 of the horses here at the yard, so I thought I'd bring you along with me. So it's going to be a day of grid work for the 3 of them. First I'll be jumping Cal, who's my most experienced horse. Just a little bit of grid work to get him nice and sharp and freshened up for our competition next weekend. I'm also going to be riding him with no stirrups because I'm trying to get my legs really strong, and I figured if I just ride everything with no stirrups, then that will surely speed up the process. So I'm going to be jumping him through a grid, a nice simple grid, just to get him nice and sharp, jumping really nice and round, but with no stirrups. After that I'll be jumping, well, I'm not sure the order yet, but I'll either be jumping one of 2 schooling liveries. So one is a 9-year-old. He is this big gorgeous horse. He's this big stride, he's fab, he's loads of scope. So we just might work on a grid just to condense that stride a little bit and work on, you know, getting that small stride, a little bit of power upwards as opposed to launching across the fences, because he just has so much jump. So that is the plan with him. And then the 3rd horse is going to be Mav. So Mav is a 5-year-old. He has only jumped a handful of times, so I'm going to do something really nice and simple that I can just trot into, soft rein, let him just jump through himself and learn from the grid, and I'll just stay out of his way and he can just learn. So I'll be changing the grid up for each of the horses. I'll explain what I'm doing, I'll do a bit of a voiceover, and yeah, so I'm going to set up the first one now and I'll catch up with you guys very shortly. So this is the first grid. It is a trot pull to a vertical, a bounce pull to a sorry, did I say vertical? A trot pull to a cross pull, a canter pull to a vertical, and then a landing canter pull afterwards with these V pulls and with no ground line. So actually a trainer that I get lessons from introduced me to this grid a few years ago, and I use it quite a lot. It's very good. So you trot in really nice and slow, and then you just have this canter pull that sets you up. It puts you a little bit deep into the vertical. No ground line also draws the horse in close to it, but then the V pulls and also the pull afterwards makes them make a really round shape. The V pulls gets them quite quick in front. The ground pull afterwards makes them look down. So the combination of all that means that you get a very nice round jump. Sometimes they might not jump really nicely over it because it is quite difficult, but then I find that the next time you jump the horse, they're very nice. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing with Cal. With this one, you don't need to whack it up too big. I kind of do it until the horse is actually having to try, which for Cal is actually a little bit big because he's small and agile and doesn't find these kind of things too tough, but it's still good to work on him and get him stronger. And I also do it in the middle of the arena so that I can come on both reins. So I'm just going to get him ready now, or actually more accurately, Maria is currently got the Magna Wave on him, so we'll tack him up now and get cracking. Alrighty, first to go is Cal. So this is me warming Cal up with no stirrups. I'm just doing some lengthening and shortening in the canter. You can see I was riding him forward down the long side there. Then I shorten him up and bring him around for a little flying change, and then repeat on the other rein. I think maybe it would be hard to know I didn't have stirrups there. I feel like it doesn't look too bad, hey? I know, he's very comfortable and quite easy to ride. So it's grand to have no stirrups. Although here I ask him to go forward and he gives me a little, almost thinks about having a little buck. He was getting a bit excited, a bit fresh. But then he comes back really nicely. He's, you know, pretty easy to do all these things with, but it's still good to keep practicing just to keep him sharp, because he's a little bit of a more lazier type of horse. So I find this going back and forth kind of almost winds him up a little bit, which he kind of needs a little bit of winding up sometimes to for the jumping, and then it also just keeps him really nice and sharp. I come around, do a flying change, way too much inside bend. Holly, what are you doing? Really should have been straighter through that turn. Anyway, then like a terrible flying change. I don't even know what I was doing there, to be honest. I think I was I think because I had such a strong left bend and he wasn't straight that I almost had to overcorrect it by bending him to the right, when I should have just had him straight through the turn, and then I wouldn't have had to do all that messing around. But anyway, that's just me being critical of my riding. So now I come down to the grid. Now we jumped this quite a few times. I do it once in each rein generally with him, up the heights. I don't want to go up too quick because he needs to warm up, but at the same time, when it's really small like this, he's literally just toddling over it, like he's not even looking at it. But yeah, you know, he finds this very easy, and so I just keep working up. Maybe I'll cut out a few of the middle ones because it might get a bit boring. But there's nothing really too much to say except that I was really focusing on having him straight, and I was really focusing on keeping my leg as still as possible and my body upright. I do feel like I just need to really focus on squeezing my legs. When I have the stirrups, I just get lazy. I'm not gonna lie, because I can ride with no stirrups and it's actually totally fine and not that hard. But then when I have stirrups on, the lower leg gets a bit loosey-goosey, you know, because I just don't have to focus as much. So I just need to ride with stirrups as if I don't have stirrups, you know, that kind of mentality of really squeezing my legs and holding them in place and not getting lazy. So I was very happy with how he jumped. I haven't jumped him since. His next time jumping will be at a show, the Spring Tour in Tipperary, so fingers crossed that goes well and this gets him nice and sharp and careful and we have a good round. And as long as I ride well, he jumps well, is the very nice thing about Cal. You know, if he has a pull down, it's because I made a mistake. He doesn't have silly pulls down really very often. I think this is the one maybe where the next one he jumps he jumps over the trot pole. You can see now it's gone up a bit. He's actually having to try a little bit. I didn't go too big. I didn't want to put him under too much pressure, but yeah, I think this one he jumps over the thing and gets in close, and he's quick as a cat getting in close. And honestly, when the stride is a bit dodgy like that, my leg was never better because I really had to focus. Dad comes to have a little look as he's driving by, give me some top tips, and then I jump this and then leave him at that. Very happy with him, and I was happy with myself. So that's it for Cal. Alrighty, so just finished with Cal. He was obviously super. It's, you know, something he's done quite a few times. It wasn't really about him, it was more about me and my nose stirrups. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I feel like some of the videos, my leg just stays on that girth the whole way through the jump. And that is just proof to me I can do it. It just, you know, I have to really focus and really like squeeze and yeah, make it happen. So yeah, the capability is there. It's just the execution sometimes doesn't happen. So yeah, very happy. My legs are pretty getting a bit sore, not gonna lie. So that was very beneficial to me. Sorry, Cal, you were used to improve my riding, but also good for him. One of the times he jumped in really big over the pole and then jumped in really big over the cross pole and then had to be like wham for the vertical. He's just so quick. Love him. He's very clever. Really enjoy riding him. But it does take a bit of a bigger jump for him to actually put effort in. He's not one of these super flashy horses, but he just keeps jumping bigger. You know what I mean? Like he just puts the same amount of effort in, whether it is 80 centimeters or 1.40 meters. Love that for him, honestly. So yes, I'm gonna walk him off and then we'll get the next one going. All right, next up is 9-year-old Budgie. So we have a trot pull, my black gloves. Yeah, they stay in my hands. Anyway, 3 bounces, a bounce pull, a vertical, and a bounce pull afterwards. So as I mentioned, he has this huge stride, so we're trying to condense it. So condensing it with the bounces, the 3 bounces, then the bounce pull is going to set us up really nicely for the last vertical to hopefully get a really nice jump over that last one. and just teach him to compress his body, get him sitting on his bum, get him a bit stronger, and yeah, have some fun. He has only been here a week, but I actually did ride him last year. I don't know if there's many videos, maybe you guys might remember him. So I kind of know him a bit, so happy to kind of go straight into a grid, know what he's like. So yeah, I'm gonna get on him now. So next up is Budgie Boy. Budgie is actually dressage bred, hence he has this fabulous canter, and his trot is just, oh, honestly you have to ride it to believe it. It just feels so lovely. It's so big, so expressive. I'm warming him up without stirrups, but I do jump him with stirrups, so sorry guys. You know, he has his little changes. You know, he's a little bit of work to do on the flat, but it's all pretty good. Just want to get him a little bit more consistent in the contact. He tends to just pop his head up once you release the contact, so it's a lot of taking and giving the contact and him just finding that self-balance. So then we come down the grid. He gets a really nice jump over the first one, and really easy. You know, he's an experienced horse. He's cool as a cucumber. There's no stress. He just pops down it. So I'm very pleased with him. You can see a bit of his nice trot as he comes into the grid. I thought I'd just keep it nice and simple. I didn't do too much with him. He was good, so I put up the third bounce. And then when I put up the middle bounce, I make it a vertical. I find that, you know, cross pull, vertical cross pull, it's a bit of a change. It really makes them pay attention. It's a little bit more difficult. They have to think about it. They have to be a little bit more on it. So on the left rein, he tends to fall in a little bit. So you could see he fell in quite a bit through that turn on the getaway. So I just did a circle and then rode him right up into the corner, and then rewarded him when he did that nicely. I find the approach in the getaway is so important to really get that right, not to let them fall in or, you know, drift out. I'm quite strict about it, but I think it is important to, you know, make sure these little things are correct. So you can see he's just popping down. He's finding it very easy. You know, these are short enough bounces, and he's actually not finding it too tough at all. You know, for a big horse, he's quite agile, he's quite light on his feet, light on the hand. So it's more about just straightness, building up that bit of jumping fitness, working on that left rein, not falling in like he did a little bit there. And yeah, he's just such a sweet horse, and I'm really enjoying riding him. Oh, there he jumped from the trot pole. He just absolutely went for it, and then was so quick to come back. I was very proud of him, actually. And yeah, just jump it once more, and then that's him done. So very happy with him. Lots of exciting things to come with this boy. I'm very, very pleased to have him. So this is the third and final grid of the day. It is super simple, could maybe barely even be called a grid. Trot in, over the cross pull, one stride. It's a bit of a short one stride because you're trotting in. One stride out, it's going to be a little oxer. The V-pulls are actually just not even V-pulls, they're just to keep him straight. So Mav genuinely has jumped 5 times in his life, so we're not doing anything too crazy. Just going to trot in really nice and calm. He's done lots of cantering over canter pulls, so he's well used to this kind of format. It's just never been a jump yet. I'm going to start with just like cavaletti height, so it's essentially just pulls, like raised canter pulls. And then, as I said, the V pulls aren't there for his technique, they're actually just there to keep him nice and straight. That's the focus of the whole grid. Really nice and straight, forward, relaxed, confident. That's the goal. So I'm going to go and get on him now. So last up is Mav. Look how sweet this horse is, right? Has never done anything like this before. Canters straight through. Does his little flying change. He's so balanced. He's so calm. He's just the most easygoing young horse I've ever met. Like, he's 5, but he wasn't ridden as a 4-year-old, so he's essentially got the experience of a 4-year-old. And he's just trotting down in his little shape, so easy. Oh, he's just so sweet. So he's just figuring out his legs, you know, there's a lot to think about. He's coming down in the trot, but he's kind of looking at all the pulls ahead of him. He just needs to learn to, you know, focus on each fence as it comes. You know, he was never even really loose jumped as a young horse, so he's never done any of those kind of loose jumping grids. This is genuinely his first time kind of just figuring out all this. And yeah, he's just so sweet, so easy, just popping down it as if it's absolutely nothing. And then, you know, I only do it a couple of times because he's only young and he's, you know, getting his fitness still. But we do it a couple of times, and then the last time he gives a really good effort over the final fence. This now is the second last time. He's just still working it out. So as soon as he gives me that really nice jump over the last one, I leave him at that, just to show him that, yep, this is what we want. And I was very, very proud of him. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the 3 horses, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.